rocking everywhere, bitty, bitty, rocking everywhere, rocking everywhere, bitty, 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 rocking everywhere, rocking everywhere, rocking everywhere. Good day, good people. I hope you're living your best life, living a blessed life, being the best you can be, doing the best you can do, and not selling yourself short. Listen, I'm back. How many times am I going to say I'm back? But for real this time, like 100%. Like, no all of this and that in the dirt. All right. So, first of all, I just want to say that life is worth living. I don't know why I just wanted to say that, good people. Life is worth living. And living just because we live. Amen, amen. All right. But anyway, back to the task at hand. So I am back. I am turned. And we are going through every detail. Okay. So I kind of gave you snippets before. So if y'all saw any of the other videos, for those of you who've been rocking with me from day one, okay, I did a Dexa scan, was wowed by the results. But what makes this time different, all right? So first of all, today you're gonna come along with me as I do my Dexa Reset. It will be the last one that I had, which was in October, okay? So the last Dexa scan I had was in October 2025. And so that was then. Now we are currently in, I forgot my ring. Oh well. We are currently in April 2026. Okay. So a few things that I did do was from my last things. I used ChatGPT, and there's a few videos out there. But I'm going to really dive deep in and hope that y'all join in on this full entire process that I do with this, as I really hone in and really push in and dial in those things that were lacking before, mainly on my end. And like, so many times we have information and we're just like, okay, but how do I make this look practical in my life? And that's where I'm at every single day. All right, that's good, but how is that practical to improve, right? So that'll be what we're going through. And so I just thought we would just chat a little bit as I go to my body spec appointment to get my Dexa scan done. If you don't know what a Dexa scan is, what it does is it's there's a lot of different ones out there. Like InBody is probably the most common that people use on a day. Like, you know, InBody machines are like everywhere. They're in certain vitamin shops. Crunch Fitness, they use InBody scans. So you don't have to do the one that I'm doing. I personally like it better because it gives me more of a layout of what I'm actually looking at, what my body's actually doing. So that's why I will till something else, I will be using what's the place? I'll be using Body Spec. I forgot the place real quick. So I'll be doing that because I'm using that as my baseline. So you don't have to use that. By all means, use what works best for you. As we go through this journey, listen, I have a benefits plan at my place of employment, and they have so graciously, in order for us to be well, right? That's how I came into that's how I came into Body Spec, was through my place of employment. So just utilize your resources. So yeah, just think about that, and as we go through, that's just what I'll be doing is utilizing resources, and hopefully you'll be able to think about things too and be like, okay, this actually will work for me without breaking the bank, because at the end of the day, this stuff, it can get expensive when you outsource and outsourcing, you outsourcing, you outsourcing, you keep outsourcing, and you outsource the outsource. So, yeah, this is by no means anything to, and as we really deep dive into it, and I'll say this again, there's no substitute for personal trainers and those things like that. Now, you may have a baseline like me that's more knowledgeable in an area, and so you use that to your strength. And so, but we'll walk through all of that, how I build my meal plans and how I go through tailoring my workouts and see if the tailoring that I'm doing on the workouts is actually getting to the goal that I desire and that I want, you know, for a healthier me. So let me go ahead and outline what my goals are. Number one, I do want to be thinner, right? So I do want to be thinner, but me personally, I don't want to be thinner in the aspect of I just lost weight to lose weight, and now I'm walking around, and this is nothing to anybody, but I'm walking around like just all skin and jelly. Like, nah, I want to have something to me. And also I am doing this in the most, and I want to be intentional about the words that I'm using. I am doing this in the most natural way possible, okay? And natural is a relative term, but I am not on any Mounjaro, Wegovy, any of the A1C, have mercy, GLP-1 shots, pills, any of that type of stuff. So most of the things that I do when I approach it, my approach is holistically as much as possible, without the interference of, and I don't want to use the word interference, but without the use of these other without the use of drugs, right? So but if that's for you, then by all means, please utilize that and make that part of your regimen. But for me, and in this journey, I'm not on any of that. I actually by going and eating, so my diet that we'll go through is going to be heavily focused on reducing the amount of ultra processed foods, not necessarily taking certain things out of my diet, but what is the better alternative, okay, for that. So that'll be what I mainly focus on when it comes to my diet. I will be doing heavy weightlifting. That is what I do. I like to lift weights. That's just me. So a lot of the stuff that we'll see and walk through will be weightlifting, and then I get outside and I have fun. Sometimes I ride my bike. I haven't been skating as much for that good cardio power hour, but I got to get back in the skating rink too, because those are things I enjoy. And so in this, it'll be like, hey, remember, you can do things that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be torture. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I can't believe this, that, and the third. Like, food is going to taste like, it's going to taste good. All right. I've been on a learning curve. To give you a little bit more back history in this whole thing, I am still on a learning curve of learning how to cook differently and learning how to cook more things that aren't using the ultra processed foods. And we'll go through all of that. And I'll tell you certain people that I watch and certain things that I utilize. But right here, right now, one of the things that I utilize the most when I'm cooking at home has to do with my flour intake and the type of flour that I do use. Oh, you only use almond flour? No. What I do is use unenriched flour, unenriched cornmeal. Those two things, and I still enjoy my cornbread. And I still enjoy my bread. I started making bread at home instead of buying bread at the store. Those are a few things that I do now. And with doing those things, I've actually dropped my A1C to an under pre-diabetic range. And it was just simply by doing those dietary changes. So we have to all think about that. For me, that's been my biggest struggle. I could work out all day long, but my biggest struggle throughout my entire life has been on maintaining my diet and not thinking about, number one, I don't approach it as, oh, I gotta restrict myself. Now that I understand that so many of these foods that we think are good for us, and we're sitting up there flowing money into it, and it's not helping us because of the way that they're processed, even though you can buy it at Sprouts, doesn't make it good food, okay? Just because you can buy it at Sprouts doesn't mean it's good for you. Let that sizzle. Just because it's at Natural Grocers, and then you pay the markup, okay, for these things. Now, I'm not saying don't go to these places and they don't have good alternatives, because they do. And most of it comes when you start getting into sweeteners. But yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm really working on for me is the whole sugar part. And you know, we all have certain food addictions, and I know I do. French fries and sugar, hey, that's just two off the bat, right? So but yeah, lifting heavy, my diet, which is gonna focus on mainly natural, or I don't want to say less ultra processed foods. You work them in here and there, but I'm really gonna be focused on that. And then regeneration. And so when I say regeneration, it'll be, hey, what am I growing in my garden? What am I taking that we ate, right, and feeding it back to the land, so then that way it now blesses me again. Because God created it all that way. And when you start seeing everything and how He created it, you're like, whoa. So, with that being said, let's go in. That ended up being a long time that I wasn't anticipating to go through, but hey, let's go ahead and get this Dexa scan in, and let's go. Let's do this, because there's no time like today. There's no time like the present to make the decision, not the choice, the decision. Okay? There's no time like today to make the decision to be a better version of you. Because time is non-renewable. So I said, you know what? Let's go. What do I have to lose? Ain't got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. I've already been on this path for how long? And where does it end up? So let's go hit this Dexa. And then we're going to break down the Dexa. Alright? We're going to break it down. We're going to break it D-O-W-N down. We're going to break the Dexa down. And you're going to be like, oh, man. But don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't have anxiety about it, because anxiety is fake. Remember that. Anxiety is fake. Fear is real. Anxiety is fake. And most of the time, we call things fear, but it's just anxiety. Which means you're over here apprehensive and tripping about something that's not even real. When I understood that, man, I started approaching a whole bunch of stuff differently. I was like, oh my God. I've been using these words and these definitions and have a perception that is completely off of what the truth is. Sit down and let that marinate. All right, y'all. Okay. Really going to the Dexa part now, because man, everything starts with your mindset. Let me go ahead and say that, because I'm still driving, right? I'm still driving. Y'all are propped up. Everything is good. My eyes are focused on the road. Everything starts with the mindset. And I didn't realize how off my mindset was. Now it's beginning to improve, and incrementally I start seeing the manifestation of that day by day. I go back and I look back. This video right now is evidence of a change in mindset. So the first thing that I'm going to tell us, for all of us to make sure that we work on, is our mindset. Our mindset is so critical. You can have discipline here, you can have discipline there, but if your mindset is off, then there's no way that you can continue and press on. You've got to address your mindset first. You've got to address that first. And if you don't address your mindset first, then you're going to hit a stumbling block that's going to be harder for you to overcome. And the only way that you're going to be able to overcome it is if you change your mindset. Man, I did so many, if I could tell y'all the things that I have done in life, and it was something inside of me pushing me, and I don't take it as mistakes at all. They were lessons. But I had to understand that why the success didn't happen at that point in time was because my mindset was not focused and tuned in the right way. It needed some adjustments. And the adjustments are so simple. The adjustments are just like I was talking about fear versus anxiety. There's a reason why they're two different names. There's a reason why anxiety is called anxiety, and there's a reason why fear is called fear. And when we stop using the wrong definitions for stuff and truly understand why things are called what they are, then light bulbs will start opening. Your eyes, you'll be able to see, because now you're wiser, because you've enhanced your knowledge and understandings. In other words, you enhanced your application of what you do know, so you know how to put it in the right place. Man, I told y'all I was supposed to be off of here. I told y'all I was supposed to be off of here already, but man. So, every day, you feed your mind. You feed your mind, and you've got to feed your mind and your spirit. But you feed your spirit, man, and your mind has no choice but to yield to that. Because your spirit has dominion over it. So that's why you got to take care of your spirit, man. And how do you do that? By being in the Word. So many times I was running away from the Word. I was running away from studying. I always kept it because I knew I needed it. But I ain't really dive in like I needed to dive in. And so when you dive in and you start asking God to do that revelation to you of what He said, because it's nothing but a map. How many people have you heard say that the Bible is nothing but a map? And it is. Is there cultural things that are different today than that were in the Bible? Yes. But is the truth of the word, is the word the truth still? Absolutely. Solomon said, "There's nothing new under the sun." He wasn't lying. It may look different, but it's not new. Unless God created it, that's the only thing that makes it new. Because all man does is learn how to repurpose and edify what God created. Or mess it up. But even then, you try, but you can't, because God is still God. And his word never returns void. But anyway, let's work on that. Man, listen. Man, listen. That's what we got to do. We got to work and improve every day. You just make a decision. You make a decision. You make a decision. I'm gonna see if I can find one of these videos I'm gonna do. Look up the word decide. Decide is not the same thing as choice. When you decide and you break down the word decide, you effectively cut off. And so there's no way for you to go back. A choices are like options. Decisions are definite. And so when you make oh man, I'm gonna find the video. I'm gonna post it on my shorts. I'm gonna find it. Be on the lookout. It came from Myron Golden. I'm gonna tell you who it came from. Myron Golden. Most of the stuff that I get on my mindset and all of that comes from Myron Golden, because of the way he opens up the Bible, and then I go and study the Bible myself. Not just take what he says. It comes from church. Everything comes from the word. And hey, anywho, I think this video might stand alone. I think it's gonna stand alone, and then I'm just gonna post another one with the Dexa. Okay, we're gonna come back and I'm gonna have on the same shirt, and we just gonna do the Dexa. But I really want. I wasn't really trying to say this while I was driving, you know. But hey, let's all be in this together. And I say it all the time. Let's go be the best you can be. Do the best you can do, and do not sell yourself short. Period. Know your worth. And that's one of the biggest things that I struggle with. Because self-esteem and understanding your self-worth are two different things. There's a reason why it's two different words. Okay? There's a reason why it's called two different things. It's a reason why it's two different words. How many times am I going to say that? It's a reason why it's two different words. And hey, I'm going to leave it right there. Let it marinate. Say it with me again. Go out there. Be the best you can be. Do the best that you can do. And do not sell yourself short. With that being said, peace out. One love. Jesus Christ. Remember that, okay? Remember that. Hey, till next time, I'll see y'all with the Dexa scan on the next video. Peace.